Hey guys, Strolling Bones here. I'm in the process of getting some hotel work done. I'm on a trip with my girlfriend. She's making the bread, and I'm preparing games right now. Actually, I'm working on my article for Libra Fanatica 8, and I figured I should take some time off typing to just post this video. It's kind of been gnawing at me. I didn't get around to answering one of the questions posed by Sean Connors in his narrator interview video. I responded to everything except for what I believe makes a good player, what I look for in a player, what I desire players to possess. And I'm going to touch on that right now, take a few minutes and just let you know how I feel and hopefully open up a little bit of discourse, see if we have any points of agreement or disagreement. And so here goes. Players need to first and foremost want to play. They have to have a desire to play the game, just like a game master or narrator, as I like to call them. They have to have a desire, bar none, more than anything. So when they show up and sit down at the table, they are prepared to immerse themselves in the game and help the story along. That is first and foremost the most important thing. Attentiveness and creativity are two other things that I really love in a player. The attentiveness part is wonderful because it's nice to have somebody catching you if you make mistakes, but they'll be able to help you out or help the other players who may not have as long of attention spans by gathering the information that I impart on them, as it were. So I'd say attentiveness and creativity's, that goes without saying. Most people who play these games are just innately creative. They like to create things. They like to exist in their imagination, and therefore they tend to be creative. That's not everybody, but it is kind of comes part and parcel with the whole RPG community, creativity that is. So those two things fall in right behind the desire to play. And then I'd say that respect, not only of the narrator, it is his story, so you need to respect the narrator as a player. You need to help that narrator tell the story, and you need to help evolve the story. So that's important on that level of respect, but you also need to respect the other people at the table. You don't want to get out of hand, take up all their time. You don't want to be that guy who just talks and it's all got to be about you. I actually had a problem with a player, I should say. I had a problem with a player not too long ago. I was talking about how I moved to this small town, and these people tried to get me to play. They wanted me to game master for them. We started talking about D&D and our interests as we were all working together, and it came forward that I was really interested in this one fellow that we'll call K, for the sake of privacy in this video. K basically was one of the most amazing role players I've ever met in my life. Very intuitive and into it. He liked realism. He liked to play his character as best he could. He developed his characters amazingly. We developed a ton of characters that never even saw the light of day. We actually only played a few instances. We played both 3rd and 4th edition, or 3.5, I guess. It's all the same to me. It's an add-on or update of 3.0, but I don't like all that beta, computer talk when it comes to my role-playing games. I mean, it's the 3rd edition, and it's just a revising of the 3rd edition rules. So I'm going to call it Pathfinder or 3rd edition. Anyway, we played mostly that. We played a little bit of 4th edition as well, which I got to play in that. We had a different guy narrating for that one, but I didn't really like it, which I discussed in the other video. But he's a great. I can't say how great of a role player he is, but he has a lack of respect for the other people around him. He sucks up all the energy in the room. You need to give him all the attention in order for him to feel secure, and for him to want to continue playing. You've got to really tailor-make everything to his preferences, and so that kind of led to contention, and we exploded, and it shit the bed and crashed and banged, and now I don't play D&D anymore. I'm not going to play D&D for a long time. And that's what I like about this Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, the third edition, is it really encourages community storytelling. As your whole gaming group gets together, you work together to work through stories that I create, or you as the narrator would create. Getting a little off topic there, but players, so we need a desire, or I need a desire out of the players. They need to be attentive and creative and respectful, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I feel about a player. Other than that, anything works. Oh yeah, I'd say this too. I think an asset that is great to have in at least one player at your table is a person who's willing to step through that boundary and to actually act as his character, because through them doing that and showing the other players that it can be fun and immersive, then all the other players will slowly start shedding their everybody has that armor. They don't want to make a fool of themselves or whatever. That's been my experience. Most people have a very hard time role playing, unless you have a player like that at your table. And I'm fortunate enough to have 2 players right now, and we're just starting a group again to play Warhammer. And these 2 guys are great. One of them is really not attentive and actually kind of disrespectful to me, as far as paying attention to my stories and not distracting the rest of the people is concerned. But his acting ability, his role playing ability is fantastic. So I can't complain. I think that's something he'll just learn with time. He's never played role playing games before, but him and this other fellow are wonderful, wonderful role players, and I think that's going to help the other newbies to really shed that scared armor and be able to, they'll be able to eventually step into their characters a little bit more, which I really like. Apart from that, I want to pose a question to you guys. Do you feel that player-character conflict should mount to combat? Like, if the players realize that their characters are really at an impasse with one another, do you allow them to fight, to actually combat each other in the game? Personally, I do. If it fits the storyline, go nuts, battle each other all you want. I mean, one of you is going to probably end up having to make a new character, maybe both, but feel free. In my games, you're just another part of the world, and however you decide to react to it is your business. Anyway, there's my question, and my response to that question by Sean there. So I'm gonna get back to work on my travel article, and I'll talk to you guys later.